I spent months saving every penny to help my cousin open her dream cafe. She hugged me, cried, and said, "I don't deserve you." 3 months later, I found out she was telling everyone I begged to give her money just to feel important. When her business collapsed, she came crying for another loan and I gave her a reality check she'd never forget. I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Not exactly a big city, but I've been here my whole life. I work full-time at a tire shop changing oil, rotating tires, fixing brakes. I've been there since I was 22. I'm 34 now. I don't have a lot of money. No kids, no spouse. Just me and my old mutt Ruger. I've always been a saver. I don't spend on dumb stuff. I clip coupons. I take side jobs when I can, fixing people's brakes after hours, mowing lawns. I'd been saving for about a year to redo my kitchen. The cabinets were falling apart, the countertops were warped, and the flooring was stained and cracked. I figured if I saved up around $7,000, I could do it myself over a few weekends. Then my cousin Angie called me one night in early spring. Angie's a few years younger than me. We grew up more like siblings. Her mom and my dad were brother and sister. Angie was always scattered. Never stuck with anything. She went to hair school, dropped out. Tried selling handmade soaps for a while. Then tried being a wedding planner. None of it lasted. But the last few years, she got into baking. I'll give her credit, she's good. Her cupcakes are legit. For the last year, she'd been talking about opening a cafe. She had a name picked out, the Sugar Nest. She even had a vision board. She talked about it constantly. I always listened and encouraged her, because I wanted her to do something she loved. That night she called me, she was crying. Not sobbing, but her voice cracked. Said she'd found the perfect little shop downtown. Rent was cheap, came with some equipment left behind from a juice bar. She said she needed about $5,000 to close the deal and buy her first supplies. She said she tried banks, but with her credit score, nobody would help her. She said I was her only hope. She came over to talk in person. I still remember the way she hugged me on my porch. Tight, like she meant it. She said, "I don't deserve you. Nobody's ever believed in me the way you do." I believed her. Stupid me. Next morning, I went to the bank. Pulled out $5,000 in cash and gave it to her. She cried again. Said I saved her dream. First few weeks, things seemed fine. She posted pictures of the new cafe space getting painted. She was all over Instagram with updates. Cupcake flavors, latte art, the works. I didn't hear from her much after that. She used to text me almost daily. But now, barely a reply. I figured she was just busy. New businesses are chaotic. I sent her a message one day asking if she needed help with anything. She said no, everything was going better than expected. Still, something felt off. Then one Saturday, about 3 months later, I ran into her old roommate Candace at the grocery store. Candace and I aren't close, but we've always been friendly. We chatted a bit, and then she said something I'll never forget. "So, I heard you basically begged Angie to let you invest in her cafe?" I blinked. "What?" Candace looked confused. "Yeah. Angie told us you kept throwing money at her, saying you just wanted to feel like a part of something. Said you cried about being alone and needing to be needed." I felt like I got kicked in the chest. That night, I barely slept. I kept going over every word Angie had said to me. That hug. Those tears. "I don't deserve you." No. She didn't. I started paying more attention. Her social media was all about building from the ground up and doing it all on her own. No mention of me or the loan. I found out from a friend of a friend that Angie was telling people I was emotionally unstable and had begged her to let me help. She told one of her suppliers I was just a relative who didn't want her to succeed and now wanted control. I said nothing. I didn't confront her. I waited. 3 months after she opened, I got a text. "Hey, can we talk?" I didn't answer. The next day, she showed up at my door with a box of cinnamon rolls and tears in her eyes. Her cafe was failing. Rent was behind. Suppliers weren't delivering because of unpaid invoices. Her last event got cancelled. She was desperate. She said, "I know I don't deserve this, but I need another loan. Just $5,000. I'll pay you back double." I let her talk. Then I said, "You told people I begged you to let me help." She froze. I added, "You told them I needed to feel important." Her face fell. I stood up, walked to the door, and opened it. "You need to leave." She started crying. Said she was scared. Said I was her only hope. I looked at her and said, "You were right. You don't deserve me." I shut the door. A week passed. I thought I was done with her. I thought she'd disappear and leave me alone. Then I saw the post. Angie started a GoFundMe. The title made my blood boil, "Help Save My Café." A small business owner's fight against betrayal. She wrote this whole dramatic story about being sabotaged by a jealous relative who promised help then pulled out at the worst time. Said she was targeted, manipulated, and emotionally blackmailed by someone close to her. And guess what? She tagged me. She didn't use my name, but it was obvious. Someone I trusted deeply, who insisted on inserting themselves into my dream, then yanked the rug out from under me. She made herself the victim. And she made me the villain. I felt sick. My hands were shaking. I didn't even know how to react. But I knew one thing: I wasn't going to sit back this time. I didn't go online to argue. I didn't comment or defend myself. I got to work. First, I started collecting proof. Screenshots of her texts asking for money. Bank withdrawal slips. A photo of the envelope I gave her with the cash. I even had the date written on it, April 14th. She signed a little note saying, "Thank you," which I kept. Then I contacted the suppliers she was still using. I found 2 local ones, one that sold her coffee beans and another that supplied her baking ingredients. I emailed them both and explained who I was. I attached the screenshots. I told them how she lied about how she got her funding and burned every bridge she ever crossed. They both dropped her the next week. Then I went a step further. One thing I knew: Angie never filed her business properly. She bragged about it once, laughing that she skipped the paperwork to save money. So I made an anonymous report to the Indiana Department of Revenue. Told them she was running a cash business, unregistered, avoiding taxes. And I wasn't done. I knew she was operating in a space that used to be a juice bar. The place had plumbing issues. The original owners were shut down by the health department. Angie never fixed anything. She painted over the moldy walls and replaced the chairs. I made another call. Health inspection. I didn't have to wait long. It took 2 weeks. Then came the shutdown notice. Someone posted a video on Facebook. A big orange sticker on her cafe door that said, "Closed by order of the Department of Health." I watched it 3 times. Angie tried to spin it, of course. Claimed it was just a routine inspection and everything was fine. But people started asking questions. The GoFundMe stalled. Her followers stopped liking her posts. And then the kicker? Her landlord kicked her out. Evicted. Apparently she hadn't paid rent in 2 months. The Dream Cafe? Gone. The sugar nest was closed for good. I thought it was over. I figured Angie would just disappear from my life and maybe find another poor soul to con. But she didn't go quietly. Not even close. A few days after her eviction, my cousin Mark, her older brother, called me. She's staying with Mom again, he said. She told everyone you got her cafe shut down. I sighed. What else is new? Then he added, she said you're obsessed with her. That you're stalking her. That one hit different. It was one thing to lie about how she got money. It was another to make people think I was unstable. I started getting weird texts from people I hadn't spoken to in years. Some asking if I was okay. Others hinting that they'd heard I was spiraling or fixated on Angie. I realized then she was trying to ruin me to protect herself. Part 12. The private group one night, my friend Chelsea, who works at a local coffee shop, sent me a screenshot. It was a post from a private Facebook group called Fort Wayne Small Biz Queens. Guess who was running it? Angie. And in that group, she was telling a whole new story. She said I was her ex. That I was a controlling man who pretended to be her cousin so I could stay close to her. That I forced my way into her business with threats and guilt. The comments were filled with women offering her support. I felt sick. I was about to respond, but Chelsea stopped me. Don't go in there. Let me handle it, she said. She added herself under a fake profile. Waited a week. Then posted all the screenshots, our real family tree, our actual texts, photos of us as kids, and the signed note from Angie thanking me for the money. The group exploded. Angie was banned 2 hours later. Her stories didn't just fall apart, they burned. But she still wasn't done. A week later, I got a letter in the mail. Angie had hired a lawyer. The letter claimed I had defamed her online and caused emotional damage by interfering in her business. It said if I didn't apologize publicly and agree to pay $2,000 in damages, she'd sue me. I laughed out loud. But I didn't ignore it. I hired a lawyer too. Gave him every piece of evidence I had. He fired back with a letter of his own demanding repayment of the original $5,000 loan, plus damages for slander and defamation. Angie didn't respond. 2 weeks later, my lawyer got a call. She'd dropped her lawyer. Couldn't afford him. Her bluff had failed. Months passed. Angie disappeared off social media. The GoFundMe vanished. She went radio silent. People stopped asking about her. My life went back to normal. I finally started working on my kitchen again. Got new cabinets. New flooring. Even bought myself a decent stove. Then one night, I heard a knock. It was almost 10 p.m. Ruger started barking like mad. I opened the door and there she was. Angie. She looked rough. Skinny, pale, circles under her eyes. Hair pulled back in a greasy ponytail. She didn't say anything at first. Just stood there shaking. I crossed my arms. What do you want? She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Then finally, I lost everything. I didn't say a word. She looked past me into the house and said, "You ruined me." I let out a small laugh. "No, Angie. You did that all by yourself." "I was desperate," she snapped. "I lied, okay? But I didn't deserve to be destroyed." I stared at her. "You didn't just lie. You dragged my name through the dirt. You told people I was obsessed with you. That I begged you to take my money. That I was unstable." Her face twitched. I was scared. I said, "And now you want what? An apology? Forgiveness?" "No," she said quietly. "I want another loan." That was it. That was the moment I knew she would never change. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. Stood there with her on my porch. Cold air between us. "You know what your problem is?" I said. "You always think you're the victim. Even when you're the one holding the knife." She flinched. "I gave you a chance. You threw it away. I stayed quiet, and you lied about me, I stayed calm, and you tried to ruin me. You don't need money. You need a wake-up call. I have nothing left, she shouted. I'm living in a basement. I eat ramen every night. I'm not asking for a handout, I'm asking for a life raft. I stared at her. Then I said something I'd wanted to say for a long time. You can drown, Angie. She froze. You can drown in your lies, your ego, your pity. You don't get to burn bridges and then come crawling back when the fire spreads. She stepped back like I slapped her. I walked inside. And this time, I didn't just shut the door. I locked it. A month later, I heard she moved to a different state. Staying with some guy she met online. Word is, she's trying to start a healing business now. Selling homemade oils and life advice. I wish her well. No, that's a lie. I don't. Because some people don't deserve well wishes. Some people need to hit rock bottom and stay there long enough to feel it. As for me, I'm not a hero in this story. I should have seen the signs earlier. Should have protected myself. I gave too much. Believed too easily. But I learned. And next time someone cries on my porch and says, I don't deserve you, I'll believe them. Because they're probably right.